college football. Yes, sir. The mayor of college football, a.k.a. Downtown Nino Brown. Yes, sir. Welcome to another marvelous episode of Overreaction Monday. I am the governor of college football, and with me is a guy that needs no introduction, the mayor of college football, Downtown Nino Brown. Also with us tonight is a guy that pulls a lot of strings behind the scenes, the senator of college football, my guy, Mr. Dennis Noel. Fellas, how y'all doing, man?
I'm excited. I'm ready to rock. It's a lot of things going on in college football.
It's a lot of things going on in the wonderful world of college football, and I don't know if I don't know. Like each year that we do this thing gets easier. I promise you. But I feel like I've been so locked in with everything that's been going on. Like I don't know, it's getting super easy. So, we got a bunch going on in the wonderful world of college football. So, I got some rapid fire questions for both of you guys. And we'll start with D now, man. Give me a quarterback that's flying under the radar that not enough people are talking about.
I'm gonna pull the homer card, and I'm gonna stay in this state.
Yes,
I'm gonna go Rocco Beck, and I'm going to go Mark Gronowski. I think both the quarterbacks in the state of Iowa aren't getting enough love. I've seen lists where Rocco's listed as the fourth best quarterback in the Big 12, where I personally think he could be a Heisman sleeper. And then Mark Gronowski, obviously coming from 1AA, but the guy's got, a couple championships, 10,000 plus yards through the air.
It's Iowa's offense. You guys run so well, too.
Yeah. So I'm going to stay home in the state of Iowa with those two.
I had a feeling you were going to stay home.
I chose Rocco Beck first, though. I want that on the record as a Hawkeye fan. I chose the Cyclone first.
2 years ago, you were talking about Rocco. When we were talking about up-and-coming guys, you said people are sleeping on him, and I think this is doing it. He took him a little bit, but, he's there now. I'm going to go way out west. I'm going to go with Devin Dampier.
I love it.
Transferring from New Mexico, right? He's a little under 60% last year, close to 3,000 yards passed. 3,000 yards passes, 12-12, 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. But listen, you're going in there. He's a mobile guy. He had over 1,000 yards last year on the ground, double-digit touchdowns. He's got a running mate with him. Wayshawn Parker, as a true freshman, went off last year at Washington State. So I think, Utah's going to have some stability. 3 quarterbacks last year. We've seen pretty much anybody at quarterback in Utah over the past, 4 or 5 years perform, and Cam Rising was the guy for a while, but he's been injured for 2 years, and they just kind of plugged in guys, and all of them kind of went off. They had some terrible games, but they put up numbers. I think Dampier and this offense, with the schedule that they have, with having, a guy in the backfield that you're going to have to worry about and his mobility, I think this kid's going to take off. I think there's a chance he's top 3 in the Big 12 when it's all said and done, and people really aren't talking about him.
I got a guy out west as well, in the Mountain West, speaking of which, a guy that's going to have kind of a redemption season this year. I'm buying a lot of UNLV stock. I'm buying a lot of Dan Mullen stock. I think he's bringing swag to Las Vegas, Nevada. And Alex Orji, like, he disappointed during this time in Ann Arbor. I believe he may come out this year. I think he's going to put on a show. And look and watch out for UNLV in that conference. And I love that kid, Jaden Thompson, the running back.
Yeah,
a smaller kid.
The jet, baby.
Yes. So I'm gonna go with Alex Orji.
I like that pick. I just think if the old coaching staff was at UNLV, Orji would be a better pick.
I agree. I last time we saw Dan Mullins, who was the quarterback for him? Been a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So
what's that kid name? Was it Jeff Driscoll? Yeah, it was a minute. It's been a minute. Yeah.
I know the competition will be a little bit different, and I'm not saying easier, different for Orji here, but man, I didn't see any step in the right direction on Orji, last season. So I think, I'm going to agree with you. I think he does do better because he's going to get more time. He'll be able to spread better options for him at UNLV to run, than there was at Michigan. I wish it was the last coaching staff. If it was Odom and our guy to go. Oh my God. I think Orji could have a Jordan McLeod-esque, just breakout type year. So Sky would have been higher for me with the old staff. But again, we don't really know what we're going to get with Mullins in 2025 either.
I think we'll get better team success with this new staff. I think they'll be well rounded. Dan Mullen, you're going to get the discipline. They're going to bring it defensively, and I think in Ann Arbor, is there a rougher system to play in maybe than Seth Luttrell's system last year at Oklahoma? When we talk about teams that just couldn't score the ball last year, who defenses truly kept them into games. I think you guys are right. Barriota's system would have been much more fun to play in. But I think when I look at the overall team success, I truly think UNF, we can win the conference this upcoming season.
I just hope that there's not too much on his plate because you're going to have the loss of Ricky White, right? You have so they lost a few guys on offense. So it's like
they did.
Who's going to be the guy that's going to be a safety blanket that he can get the connection with early and often and be able to work out the kinks. So we'll have to see. But I do like it. That is definitely a guy under the radar. And if he clicks, could take off.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get into this next question. I did love all three of our picks. Give me a wide receiver. Same question. That's flying under the radar. That isn't getting enough talk. We'll start with you this time, Nino.
We were talking out west, so a kid that was out west last year. And I think not so much was a beneficiary of Mendoza's success. I think he was a large part to Francisco Mendoza's success last year at Cal. And that's Nazir Hunter. I put a post about him when he was coming in as a freshman. I think he clicked all the boxes. Deep threat, had that wiggle, can go up there and get the ball, fights for it. I mean, and all those things last year just checked. He had almost 600 yards, 5 touchdowns, average 15 yards per catch. He was 60% in contested catches, 8 out of over 11. Like, this guy just did everything he needed. He was all over the field. When he got the ball in his hands, he made things happen. He was a chain mover. He had almost 30 first downs for Cal last year. And, Mendoza may be more of a upright pocket passer, but he does have some mobility to him, and a deep ball is good. Raiola has that, deep ball, right? Strong arm. He has that, more of a on-the-go mobile capability to him, like his idol, Patrick Mahomes. He models his game after him, and we see that on the field. But I think Nazir Hunter, with Dane Key on the outside, I think Nazir Hunter is this guy that everybody's sleeping on because Dane Key is known Kentucky, SEC. He's already done it, right? Like, Nazir Hunter's coming from Cal. But I think this kid is sneaky good, and he's flying under it. I think this kid could take off, and one of the two. Either he has a huge yardage here, or this kid's going to be the touchdown guy because you're not going to be able to double. And people are going to run that fast. If you double Dane Key, Nazir Hunter's going off, right? So I think Nazir Hunter is a guy that people aren't really talking about at all. He's already performed as a true freshman, and now he's relocated. And I think, we all say Matt Rule, year 3, right?
Yeah.
When success happens, look out. I think Nazir Hunter is about to take off.
I love it. D-Now, talk to me, bro.
Yeah, so I'm going to stay in the Midwest. Not an Iowa guy, but I'm going to go with Kansas State's Jace Brown. He's the only returning receiver for Avery Johnson this year. He's going to be in the slot, so he'll be the safety blanket underneath. But the kid also averaged almost 18 yards of reception, so he can take it deep. I mean, looking at his games against Iowa State, which was a top 20 defense last year, 3 receptions for 106 yards. Then Houston, 86 yards, Kansas, 90 yards, Colorado, 121. So, I mean, the kid's a weapon. And I think in order for Avery Johnson to take that step that everyone wants, this kid's going to have to play a key factor in it. So
I wanted him to take a bigger step last year. I was on board as he breakout. And
I was all in with Kansas State last year.
Kind of just lateral movement from you know what I mean?
But it was a different system, though. It was, in all fairness, it was a different system.
It was. But if he wants to be like a first or a second round, he's going to have to take, because right now, I think he's a solid third, back half of the third, maybe even a 4th rounder quarterback.
I think their success goes hand in hand, though. Johnson,
absolutely.
And Brown.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, where it comes to the passing game, like, they got to be clicking. And then you'll see the next step for Avery Johnson in the pass game. He's got to have it. It's got someone on that team, and it's supposed to be Jace Brown. I just hope it's now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out west. So I guess I'll stay out west with this one. This is gonna be a very unpopular pick, but I'm gonna go with Mikey Matthews, wide receiver, UCLA. I love what Tino Sinceri did. Him and Mike Shanahan were co-coordinators last year at Indiana. Tino Sinceri was the passing game coordinator. I think Nico has the best year of his collegiate career this upcoming season in UCLA because I believe it's a quarterback-friendly system. We saw what Curtis Rourke was able to do in that system. And yes, Nico was 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions last year. They heavily relied on their running game. They heavily relied on their defense. I think this system fits his skill set a little bit better. Coming out the slot, I think Mikey Matthews would be one of those guys. I think he'll get the most targets he's gotten in his career so far. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
It was huge, Mikey Matthews guy.
I know. That's
team 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is team 3 now.
Yeah, Cal, Utah, and
yeah, I haven't really seen much. The sample size is really minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think his skill set, how he can play, how he lines up on the field, what he can do, his route tree, I think that works well with Nico in the system, like you stated. Nico's been my guy, and I said 10 goes down there. I think he's right there. I think he's gonna be comfortable. He's got his brother with him.
Right.
You can do all the yip yap talking you want to do, but I think the product's going to be in the pudding. I think Nico's going to perform. I think Mikey Matthews is probably going to be a product of that success as well.
All righty, so let's get to our next question. I'm loving these rapid fires so far. Give me a coach in the Big Ten that has the most approved this upcoming season. D9, we're starting with you on this.
I'm going to go again. I had a toss up. The layup is obviously James Franklin. I think every single year he has something to prove with all the talent he's in. If he can end up winning, but he always shits the bed on that one game where they should. And to follow up on that, Ryan Day. Yes, he came off the national championship, but it's 4 years in a row that they've lost to Michigan. Yes, winning does cure everything, but 5 straight losses to Michigan, I don't care how many national champions you win. I mean, you can't lose to the team up north.
I love it. Nino.
Google me. Well, you better keep that same motherfucking energy when you only win 8 or 9 games, right? Like, this shit don't stink. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want that same big dick energy, right? When you go through the gauntlet of, let me see this year, at Iowa, versus Illinois, at Iowa, at Oregon, right? And you got to play Michigan State.
Games.
And then the end of the year, on the road, 2 games, at Maryland, at Penn State. Like, listen, you got a whole revamped offensive line, a new quarterback coming in Mendoza, like we mentioned earlier. Like, that running game isn't as strong in my eyes as it was last year. So I want to know if you're still talking about Google me, and you should be the team that's in the college football playoff, right? Like, he was bitching that he wasn't that team. I want to keep it. Keep all that the same when it's all said and done at the end of the year, because is he going to be, asking people to go search him on Google when he's got 8 wins? Or, you know what I mean? And he's at, like, the Outback Steakhouse Bowl, whatever the heck it may be, you know what I'm saying? So I think Kurt Cignetti's got a lot to prove, and I think it's low-key flying under the radar. But when the L's stop piling up, the gallop might be getting a little bit too tight for him. You know what I'm saying? So
what do you do? Because I was surprised how quickly he signed the extension. Like, from Indiana's perspective, I get it. Most successful season they've had in a very long time. If the greatest season that they ever had. I got 2 guys. I got Luke Fickell in Wisconsin. Huge fan of Luke Fickell. He's a culture builder. But hell, they got the 6 toughest schedule in all of college football. I think of all the top 10 teams, they were the only non-SEC team to be up there in the top 10. So if they're gonna get it this year, they're gonna earn it. And I think it's 7 wins, bro, or better, even with the extension. He's got to get 7 wins this year. I feel the same way, if not worse, for Mike Locksley. The same way Billy Napier kind of, DJ Lagway saved his job. It's all in this kid, Malik Washington. He has to go with him. He has no other choice, in my opinion. He has to go with them in order to save his job. I'm not sure if he saves it. I like Locksley. I like him a lot. I've been around the Maryland program a lot. But damn, bro. Yeah, I just don't know if he makes it.
And I'm not sold. I said last week, I'm not sold that he's going to go Malik Washington, but I think we agree that in the program he should.
he has to. Give me an SEC coach with the most approved this upcoming season. We'll start with you, Nino.
I mean, by now everybody should know my answer. I think it's Josh Heupel, bro.
I love it.
Quarterback bullshit, right? That whole scenario, right? Yo, Nico's gone. Cool, fine, whatever. Dylan Sampson ain't there no more. The 20-plus touchdowns on the ground. When you needed someone to carry your team, it was Dylan Sampson. Is it Peyton Lewis, right? Is it going to be Star Star Thomas, I believe, transferred in there, and then they got Bishop, Deshaun Bishop as well. So it could be a running back by committee.
I think Lewis will be the guy.
But if people really think that Joey Aguilar is going to step in and be this hot ticket, like people say, have better numbers than Nico did last year.
No, hell no, hell. This 2023 year was good, but last year was abysmal. It was
going
bad.
from App State to the SEC. Like, dude's bigger, better, faster, and stronger. It's like Lions, Tigers, and Bears online. You know what I'm saying?
Kane Womack's of the world. These defenses are legit, bro.
This veer and shoot offense better be. And this is probably no bullshit. The worst wide receiver room in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
But everybody wants to just point the finger at the kid, right? Nobody wants to say nothing about Josh Heupel.
Right.
Well, you better not lose to Syracuse week 1. Don't let you lose to Syracuse week 1.
Facts.
That's all I'm saying. Fran Brown wants to get washed, bro. Fran Brown likes to get washed, and only winners get washed. That's all I'm saying.
Closers get coffee. I love it, bro. D-Now, talk to me.
Yeah, I was obviously going to go with Josh Heupel as well. But to veer away, I'm going to go Kalen DeBoer. Year 2 Alabama.
Love it.
If he has another 9-4 season, the hot seat's going to be real hot. Because Alabama, I mean, with all the recruits they get, all the money they bring in, they expect national championship every single year. And Kalen DeBoer's resume says that he's a winner, so he should obviously be able to win at a school that has all this talent, all these resources. So if he 3-4 losses again, seat's going to get real hot.
I like it. I'm going to go with an unpopular opinion here. I'm going to go Steve Sarkisian. I think things have been going very well for him. I think he's been able to recruit his ass off. Texas is 100% back. But, when do we start eliminating the excuses? Like, you look at this roster construction, you look at this damn defense, god damn. The defense is loaded. Offensively, they're loaded. Like, I don't want to say it's championship or bust because that's how I feel about Penn State this year. But is it championship or bust for Texas this year? How do you guys feel about it?
With a first-year starter at quarterback?
Yeah. With a first-year starter who's kind of been in he's been in the system for 3 years now. He hasn't had a lot of playing time, but he's had ample playing time. I get it that, they have lost some production because of his ability to recruit and get players out of the portal. They put players in the NFL, but, when do we start putting him under the same microscope that we're putting some other coaches under? Because like I said, I'm high on Texas.
Where James Franco's don't win big games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's won a few big games. I do agree with that. They did lose to Georgia twice last year. They beat Clemson. Clemson had chances. They beat Arizona State. Arizona State had chances. So yeah, they were able to make a run. So yeah, is it as high as we're looking at a James Franklin or who was somebody else that even not Ryan Day, like D-Now said earlier, you won a national championship, but still we know that they lost the game 4 straight times. If it's a 5th straight time, we're gonna have trouble. But the way I look at this Texas team and I look at the way that the roster is constructed, yes, it is Archie's first year starting, but he's been in the system 3 years. When's the last time we've seen a quarterback that's like this, that hasn't hit the portal but just truly had time to understand the system? So he should be ready.
So I understand where you're coming from, but in the same aspect, you might as well put Dan Lanning in the same box as Shark, right? It's time to put up a shut up, right?
Yeah, we really could. Now, I'm a Dan Lanning guy.
Dante Moore's second year in the same system. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I agree. The roster is there. we start eliminating excuses. Give me a coach with the most to prove in the ACC. I'm gonna start first with this one. Mario effing Cristobal. I'm getting so sick of effing Mario Cristobal, bro. I'm telling you, he's been able to recruit his butt off. The roster has been there. They had an opportunity last year to go and make a playoff and bring back the U that we all grew up to and love, the U. And it didn't happen. Like, they controlled their own destiny. You beat Syracuse, South Carolina did you a favor in the Palmetto Bowl, and you lose to Syracuse. And you had Cam Ward as your damn starting quarterback. And Carson Beck is going to bring you to the promised land this year. Like, so for me, it's Mario Cristobal. We seen the gaff back in 2023 against Georgia Tech. All they had to do was nail the damn ball. What exactly were they doing? I'm not sure. So for me, it's 100% Mario Cristobal. Nino, we'll go with you next.
For me, it's 100% Billy freaking Belichick, baby.
Hey,
All right, but
I love
listen,
it.
Everybody's questioning the coaching staff, right?
Mhm.
Does he belong in college
Right.
football, right? Like, he's out there with the whole girlfriend bullshit, like going
Mhm.
on to start the year off. I don't, like I said before, I'm not backing out. I don't think the guy's done anything wrong, really. Like,
Mhm.
what has he done wrong when it comes to football? I don't think
Right.
anything, but you know, all 20 plus years of him coaching, he always wanted a mobile quarterback. Now his first year in
Yeah,
college football, he
he
goes against
got one.
himself, the mobile quarterback and
Mhm.
Gio Lopez. So, like, there's a lot going on. It seems as though, bringing his kid in there, running the defense. We've just seen, at least it's supposed to be a physical defense. That's the key words going on. So, like, I think Belichick has a lot to prove that he belongs to college football,
I agree.
to prove to people that this just wasn't a job he took by default because he couldn't get anything else in the NFL and they ran him out of town. I think there's a lot for him to prove football wise and not just all this outside noise that we're hearing about, because once a couple games, couple dubs start getting put up in there, maybe they start out 3-0, 4-1, whatever, maybe then people's like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. The Tar Heels aren't, just a basketball team or a football team.
Right.
Plus,
Right.
he got to be better than the last old man that was there.
He does. He does. He does.
So I think Belichick
I
got a
agree.
lot to prove here.
I agree. They got a dangerous game. I don't know if you're looking at their schedule now, Nino. There's a dangerous game. The Charlotte 49ers is a team that I'm telling a lot of people to watch out for. Tim Albin, who was at Ohio with the Bobcats for a very long time. He's down there now. They got Connor Harrell as their starting quarterback. I'm interested to see what that 49ers team do. I'm truly interested. I don't know if it's week. Is it week 2 or week 3? It's one of those
week
weeks.
2.
It's week 2.
It's week 2.
I'm interested to see what both of these programs are. Week 2 is the game that I'm watching.
I think they go 4-0 until they go and play Clemson, and then I want to see
where they at.
That's the classic game. Like if they're in the game and they don't get the doors blown off them, and it's a normal Bill Belichick team where if I can get 16-20, then I'm in it. You know what I mean? And hold them. We'll see who plays better mind games, Dabo or Belichick.
Right.
That's going to be one. I think they're undefeated going into. I think now he's going to have all the media kind of 180 and like, maybe Bill Belichick
Hold
does
on,
belong.
yeah,
maybe it does feel. Wait a minute, I got to eat crow now, right?
We all got to go to Chapel Hill.
It's well, he's telling you that Clemson game is going to be televised. That's facts.
Oh, 100%.
Probably going to be. I don't know if it's already been released yet, but I know it's week.
I know SEC released their times today. The
I feel like
SEC
that's
released
a
their
prime
times
time game.
Yeah, it should be.
That should be an 8 o'clock game, if not.
Thank God for no big noon kickoffs in the ACC.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
And then look at after that, you're looking at Cal, Virginia. We don't know the identity of Syracuse is going to be. I do like them, but we don't know the identity.
We don't.
Stanford, Wake, Duke, NC State.
That's a favorable schedule.
He loses one game, year one.
ACC Coach of the Year.
Playoffs.
College football Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Because they're probably in the ACC championship. And if the loss is to Clemson and there's film, Billy don't make the same mistake twice. Billy don't make the same mistake twice. Watch out.
And
don't let them get in the college football playoff on Bill Belichick's first year coaching in college football. Don't let it happen.
That would be crazy. D now, talk to me.
So you guys stole my 1 and 2.
Sorry about that.
Looking at the list, I'm going to go Rhett Lashley.
He was on my list last week.
I love that.
I want him to prove that SMU is actually back and not a 1-year fluke. I think they have the quarterback with Jennings that they can do it. I love that offense. But yeah, I want him to prove. It just boils down. I want him to prove that they weren't a 1-year fluke.
Did y'all hear the thing about Alabama? Alabama tried to get Kevin Jennings. Did y'all hear it? Y'all heard about that?
I'm not surprised.
That's crazy. I didn't know it. But when I thought about it, I was
like, for Russell. You go Jennings straight into Russell.
Yeah, that was interesting. So yeah, I'm not buying SMU this year, and it's messed up. And I feel like I'm hating when I say it, but I'm not buying it this year. I'm sorry. Give me the coach with the most improved in the Big 12 this year. Dina, let's start with you.
He had a lot of success last year, but there's been some roster turmoil. I'm gonna go Kalani Sitake out of BYU.
I like that.
Only because I want to see what he can do if the Jewish Mormon can't play. So that's why I picked him.
He's pissed some of his brothers off too. I know y'all heard about him trying to snipe some players that weren't in the portal on Utah roster as well. So that's interesting. Nino, I'm kind of interested to hear where you're going here.
That 4-year contract extension was a bunch of horse shit. Mike Gundy, bro. Like, bro, they tried to run this dude out the door. It took like 3 months before they could figure it out. Then they told him, hey, buddy, you got to take a pay cut. You're only making $1 million this year. What? The buyout's now at $15 million. Hold on. That's couch cushion change for the University of Oklahoma State. Come on now. Bro, if he won, 3 games last year?
It was bad.
That was the worst season in his career. And then he got an extension? For what?
It all started during 12 media days last year, too.
Yeah, they've been at hands the whole
Who's
year.
the starter out there this year? Flores? Is he going to be the starter?
Moon was just talking about it. Moon was just talking about that yesterday, too. I looked at their roster. I didn't like their
no, Haas Haney, bro. Haas should win that. Haas should be the starting QB. Talent-wise, he should be the starting QB. But then you're going with a freshman with 0 experience. Oh, Gundy's back is against the wall. He said, bro, and I'm going to love it because when they're 0-3 and the press conferences come up, well, I don't think it'd be 0-3. What's their schedule looking like? When they lose by 50 to Oregon, bro, he's going to have a press conference. That shit is going to be must-see TV. That's like
I'm a man. I'm 54.
Yeah, bro. The hair's gonna be everywhere. I'm a grown-ass man. You know what I mean? Oh, come on now. No, I can't wait. Yeah, I doubt he makes halfway through that contract. I think if they win,
he's this year, Billy.
They don't go bowling. My boy's going to the unemployment department.
It's sad, but very true. I'm going to go with Sonny Dykes. I think we saw this team perform really well, especially with Garrett Riley was the offensive coordinator in 2022. I think they do have some star power there. I love the kid Josh Hoover that he has at quarterback. I'm interested to see how well they play, and they got a great measuring stick game week 1. We're going to find out that Sunday. What is that? September 1st, Sunday, September 1st, where they play North Carolina. We're going to really see what this TCU team is. I think we're going to see what this North Carolina team is. I think the correct answer is certainly Gundy, but I'm gonna go with Sonny Dykes, man.
Oh man, I love it.
Alrighty, so let's get into the meat and the potatoes of this episode. That was a fun lyrical exercise with the rapid fire questions. Judge Claudia Wilkin approved the House versus NCAA, and this is monumental for the sport. Schools can directly play players upwards of $20 million via revenue sharing. To both of you guys, how y'all feeling about this, and how do you think it will shape the future of the sport? Is this good or bad for the sport?
I got a couple of points I just want to just throw out there, and we can talk about it. A lot of the money, I just want to say that 75% of that money goes to football, and then the next closest is basketball at 15. So that leaves not much for the other sports when it comes to collegiate sports. But here's my question: this the end of the age of the boosters? Because
that's a great question.
But is their money relevant? Because you as a booster were willing to give up $1 million or $500,000 because you were buying a roster that you knew was guaranteed a playoff spot. You ain't guaranteed shit no more. Does that money still work? NIL collectors, their backs are against the wall right now too, right? Because the universities can do whatever they want with their money. They got $20.5 million to give out to kids however they want to give. So is the age of boosters and NIL collective kind of starting to fizzle out?
I don't think so. I think the boosters will still play a huge role. Yes, the schools have however much money, but then correct me if I'm wrong. Can the boosters not add on top of that?
They can, but you got to think these guys were willing to give out a lot of the boosters and these bigger, say SEC, right? SEC boosters. They were willing to give out all this money, knowing that they were pretty much going to have a top tier team with a chance to have a guaranteed playoff. But they ain't none of that.
So the schools with the biggest boosters, like I'll throw a team, Texas Tech this year, rumored to throw $50 million for their football. I mean, $50 million is still going to sway a lot of kids to come to Lubbock. On top of that $20 million that the school can give them.
No,
so I think the boosters will still play.
I think I agree with you. Now I think they'll continue to play a pivotal role. Do they have as much say so and leeway as they had previously? And I think that's where you were hitting at. I absolutely not. This definitely gives the schools more power. The fact that they're sharing revenue, and I think this is kind of some of the issue. And we know Nico for sure. I wonder who are the other players that were threatening to hold out in Tennessee's playoff game because they didn't perform well in Columbus, Ohio as well. But knowing that the committee gives the schools who do make the playoff 20 million, you know what I'm saying? And you like as a player, you like, damn, we earned this. You know what I'm saying? Where's our cut us? This opens the door for that. So it's like your base play plus what the TV networks are giving you plus, what you're getting from the, everybody else.
Now, my other point is Top Dog's still on the porch in the P4. Like, I think we're about to see parity open the door wide open.
Oh,
which I think is
But
needed. It's needed
because teams on the bottom, let's say the Big 12, even the Big 10,
Mm.
maybe that 5-star QB ain't gonna go to Ohio State or Oregon because TCU or Purdue is willing to throw. Hey, we got an extra 15 million when it comes to money now because 15%, 75% of the 20, that's 15.
Right.
Oh, I'll give it all to go get that. If that's that piece to throw it away from them, to get them to start and then bring. Is there about to be more parity now due to this settlement?
Hopefully, because like I was saying, college football needs. I think I don't want to say it's starting to get stale, but it's like you can almost pencil in the top 5 every single year before the season even starts. So hopefully it is that piece that, like we're going to talk about in just a little bit, where a team can come out of the blue, like an Arizona State again this year or something. We should just start seeing more teams getting a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think there's about to be more parity. Like I said, when I always thought to worry, like these little schools going to be able to send out like can a G4 school give out 20.5 million? Do they have enough money to give out? So like
that's the issue.
This is the
major
small
issue
whittle
right
down
there.
effect of the small G4 school. Like the big guys, the good, the ones that are popular, the ones that are making the money. You know what I mean? Even Coastal Carolina, they might be struggling. I know they're good in baseball and they're good in other sports, and they're just on. Are they going? Would they be able to spend that $20 million?
The Akron and the Kent states is where I worry.
Right, Kennesaws and on all those schools, kind of schools. So now you're going to start to see. I think with this, in the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see the bigger of the G4 schools get the invite to come on up.
Right,
and then once that happens, your boys going to work and say, what else do I got to do to separate, boys? Because I got everybody. I got the Big 10. I got all the big guns that are in the G4. They've already come on over. What else you need me to do before it's, this super conference and then whatever else?
Yeah, I think this kind of sets us in like a decade's path where it's the Big 4 are their own league and everyone else drops down.
Gone. Go to FBS. You know what I'm saying? Go play there, and we'll figure out a way to incorporate the winner of that somehow in a matchup at the end of the year.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, those were 2 interesting questions for that. And as far as the future of the sport, are you guys nervous? You're scared? How you feeling?
I think talent-wise, I think with enough with the parity of it, how we've had, we wanted a lot of this, right?
Yeah.
So I'm excited more so than scared. I think maybe it needed to be reshaped this way. Maybe this is what we actually need. I think all of us stomping our feet for the last 5 to 7 years, saying we need something to happen. But well, it's happening. We can't kind of stomp our feet and say, well, I don't like it now. You want to change. Change is here. And I think college football is it's a enormous money-making growing sport.
Oh,
I am not worried about product. When I start seeing games where it's just blowout after blowout after blowout after blowout after blowout, then I'll have something to worry about. But all these games have been competitive. In the playoff games, were pretty much competitive the whole route. I'm excited to see where we go. I think we're going to see a lot more change. We've seen a lot of change in 3 years. I think in the next 3 years, we're going to see a whole lot more change.
Yeah.
I love it. So now we're going to go through each of the Power 4 conferences, and you guys give me, some sleeper teams that you guys are monitoring. Let's start with the ACC, and D, now we'll start with you.
I'm going to throw out Virginia Tech as my sleeper. I think this is year 4 for their coach. I think things just finally start to click. And I'm not going to say they're going to win the whole thing, but I could see a solid increase to maybe like 9 games. So
I think he's going to need it, to be honest with you. And I'm a huge Brent Pry fan, but they're going to need it. They're 100% going to need it. Nino, talk to me.
Boy, get the Uzi for Pat Narduzzi, because I believe he about to line him up and knock him down. 7-6 was a shitty ass year for them last year.
Who's their quarterback?
Eli Holston.
Yeah.
Oh, is he finally going to be? Because I've seen that it was the shoulder, right? And I've seen that it's still kind of aggravating him. Because Duggar transferred.
Yeah, from everything I'm seeing, it's. I think that's why Duggar transferred, because he knows that it's Eli's team. But the Desmond Reed broke out last year. Like he was one of the top backs in the nation, both on the ground and through the air. I think his capability, you match that up with another year of Eli Holston, can the shoulder be fully healthy? Hopefully, fingers crossed. That's what I'm looking at. But
that tackling machine that got that linebacker, Kyle Lewis? Kid is ridiculous, man.
I think he even has the neck roll, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Kyle Lewis. That kid is ridiculous.
But they don't even have a ranked game until week 9 versus Notre Dame.
That's crazy.
It could be 9-0. You know what I mean? Like I get it. I think they do play. They play at Louisville, right? But
100 tackles and 7 sacks and 4
interceptions.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's dumb numbers.
He's filthy,
but
bro.
At home. Louisville at home, I think that's even Steven. I think that they're very capable of winning that game. They get through Louisville, get some steam behind them. Bro, it's BC. I love them, but at Florida State, at Syracuse, NC State, at Stanford. Week off, play Notre Dame. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, you can't even factor in the travel. You get them one loss. They're an ACC contender. They're right up there. So I think Narduzzi's ready to start firing off on a Uzi, baby. Give me Pitt this year. I think they're a sleeper.
I think those are 2 great picks, Virginia Tech and Pitt. I love those a lot. I'm going to omit Louisville because everybody knows I'm high on Louisville at this point. But Tech, I think we need to watch what Brent Key is building down there. We've seen a bunch of staffers in the ACC talk about this coaching staff that they have, how they're able to win the game in the trenches. I'm interested to see what year 3 holds. We've seen him his first year, when he was named the interim coach, and they figured it out that year. His second year, we've seen them continue to build momentum. And actually his first full year after they removed the interim tag, and that was in 2023. And then the same thing in 2024. So I'm interested to see what Georgia Tech does this year. 100%. How do y'all feel about Duke before we move on to the next conference?
I actually like Duke. They were possibly my other team in the ACC that I think not getting talked about. I think that they have a favorable schedule, opening up early against Tulane. I think Darian Menz is going to want to have a ball game, and if this kid gets some confidence and starts flexing early, hey, watch out. I think Manny Diaz needs to have success early in year 2 in Duke. So I actually think that schedule, the offense under Darian Menz, I'm cool. I like it.
I got them at like 7-5, 8-4, solely because I don't trust Manny Diaz. And nothing about it's a Manny Diaz thing.
I get it 100%. I truly do. All right, SEC. We'll start with you.
But I don't think there's a sleeper in the SEC. I'll be dead ass honest with you. But I think a team that can make some noise, maybe ruffle some feathers, and we can be like, yeah, they're back. I'm going to go Oklahoma. Okay?
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot, actually.
The offense under Arbuckle, you have Mattia. We already talked about being there. Last week I talked about it with you. I think that offense should be on the right page. They're going to have health in the wide receiver room. Finally, they were down to like wide receiver 7 at one point at Oklahoma. David Stone on defense. Peyton Bowen, right? Marvin Jones Jr. comes over from Florida State.
I think Bowen's going to have a breakout year this year.
Those are just all dogs on defense. And guess what? Venables now only has to worry about defense, what he's good at.
Yeah.
I think that defense is going to eat. I think that defense is going to be bone crushing this year. And I think that they're going to be a reason why they're in a lot of games that they probably shouldn't be on this schedule. And if that offense figures it out, and John Mattia plays somewhere around 75% of what he had last year, he's going to be in that conversation. Yeah. But they're also going to be right down to the wire in games against, let's see, Auburn, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Missouri. They'll be in those games. And they win those games.
I
They
think they
can
got
walk
the
away with a
toughest
3-loss
schedule in college
season.
football.
You know what I'm saying? So I think Oklahoma, if you
I
want
like
to
that
call them
pick.
a sleeper, but I think that could be probably the
No,
most.
I think they're a sleeper because of how poorly they played last season. They got the toughest schedule in all of college football. I'm with you 100%. D now, talk to me.
So I'm going to go with the only team that could probably rival Oklahoma as potentially being the most improved. I'm going to go with Auburn.
I like that pick.
With the way that their offense has retooled. I think they have a top 5 wide receiver room in the country.
Agreed.
If Jackson Arnold can finally just throw it instead of having to run it all the time, I think he's going to pick apart defenses with those weapons. And I mean, a fan of a team whose offense sucked, watching Auburn last year, it was heartbreaking for them. And I think they can only go up from last year's offense. So they're my pick.
Hey, without talking about Perry Thompson, without talking about Malachi Simmons, which I'm a huge fan of, Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton Jr. are a top 5 duo in college football, and you can
absolutely
you can take that to the bank.
I agree. I think you two nailed it. I don't even have anything else to add to that one. You guys, the 2 teams that you can choose, I think you guys picked them. All right, Big 12. What's some sleeper teams in the Big 12?
Can I go? Because I know you're going to steal my shit.
No,
if I don't say it, you're going to say it, then I'll be staring at the screen. I went with Iowa State here. Okay?
I like Iowa State.
My man, I'll let my man talk about Rocco Beck, but I'm going to talk about the running back, man. I mean, I talked to him in the green room with Abu Sama and Carson Hansen. Bro, I said to him in the green room, I think Carson Hansen is 2025 version of Cam Scatterbo. I think that kid is going to have that same type of physical, right? If you just watch highlights, you can say, I don't know, because he only scores from the goal line. Go watch that 56-yard touchdown run against UCF. And that's all you're going to need to see about Micah Hansen from Iowa State. This kid's got jiggy. He can get jiggy if he needs to. He'll run you over, right? He's a touchdown machine. Abu Sama 2 years ago was a top 5 back in college football. He took a step back last year. I don't know if it was because of him or because there was some presence in that room that was starting to challenge him for that RB1 role. But you're going to have a solid running back room, right? You have a solid trio of wide receivers, and I'm going to let my man talk about Rocco Beck.
So I'm surprisingly not going to pick Iowa State.
Wow.
So the way how do I say this? I don't think there's really a sleeper, like you said, in the SEC in the Big 12. I think they are maybe the most condensed conference in college football this year where anybody can actually win it. I'm going to go with Baylor, though.
Let's go.
I'm a Sawyer Robertson fan after watching him. I think he may be one of the top quarterbacks in the country. And the coach coming off of 2 years ago, everyone wanted him out the door to potentially being a Big 12 favorite. So I'm going to go with
games. They started off 2-4 last year.
Yeah,
and then they
can't start off 1-3 though.
Now
they better not start off 1-3.
Yeah, he'll be gone. So I'm going to go Baylor.
I agree with D now. I'm all in on Baylor. I'm 100% in on Baylor.
I like how none of us said Texas Tech though. Yeah, especially after dropping all that money.
Yeah, they dropped a lot of money. They got to get better defensively, bro.
I just don't know who the quarterback's going to be. I know Baker Morin is supposed to stop, but that dude gets hurt so much.
He's so fragile.
I just don't know.
He does. I do like Baron Morton, but yeah, Sawyer Robinson. I'm all in. I'm all in with Sawyer Robinson. I love his wide receiver core and Hawkins and Josh Cameron is dynamic, especially in the return game as well. They did add Kobe Prentice, Bryson Washington. I don't think there's enough said about him.
Cass Williams Jr., homie.
Yeah.
I'm about to tell you. I know that you are a fan of Josh Cameron, but I think he might be taking more special teams duty because I'm telling you, this kid, Ty Williams Jr., as a true freshman, is special. Special.
That's our guy.
Yes, it is. We talked to him a long time ago with the red hair, and he was in a car in the backseat, and he did that interview with us. But that kid is special. He got juice, and it's another guy that our dude Andy Pham is all about. And I'm telling you, this kid has. And it may not be week one, but he's gonna eat.
He's gonna get some play. Trick is nasty at tight end. I'm all in on Baylor. I think Baylor's gonna win the conference. That's where I'm at with Baylor.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think they're gonna run away with it early, huh?
Yeah. I was Iowa State, and then the more I started studying this Baylor team, I said, yeah, this team's
They
good.
got Auburn, SMU, and
Yeah, they're scheduled. They gonna have to go through the
They're gonna have
gauntlet.
to earn it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think if they can
Arizona
build,
State. Yeah,
if they
that's
if they can
three.
build, if they can build on the momentum that they had last season, um, when's the last time we seen a team repeat in the Big 12?
It's been a
It's
while.
been some years. So that's
They just end the season with 3
Ye-
Big 12 games too. So
yeah.
like, we'll see.
It's- it's gonna
That's
be
not
rough.
I love Sawyer. I think
Yeah.
that he's I was gonna put him down as a guy not getting talked about, but everybody here is talking about him. So like,
Yeah. We CMB Nation have been talking Sawyer
Yeah,
Robinson, bro. We've been talking about. I
But
think people
my
are
only
probably
question
skipping
is,
Mhm.
where was he
Mhm.
his freshman and sophomore year? Where was
Mhm.
that? You know what I mean? We only got 1 year of it.
Right, because he was at Mississippi State, and then we remember how bad Mississippi
But
State
they were
was the
struggling
year
for
before.
quarterback play, and he
Yeah.
couldn't.
But what was that coach name? Was it Zach Arnett?
Yeah,
That kid was
Yeah.
he was a
He
complete
was just
joke.
hired.
but then he
by-
had Rodgers there, and Rodgers got benched, and Sawyer
Yeah.
Robinson still had trouble seeing the field.
But
you know?
I throw that season away
I
strictly
get it.
because of Arnett. Like he lied to the Rodgers family.
Said he was changing. He wasn't going to change the offense.
He completely robbed them of a year. It was
he
messed up.
just got hired by someone.
Did
I
he?
saw it today. Yeah. As an
I hope
analyst.
he's learned. I hope he analyst is probably a great role for him too. That's like a sabbatical year almost when you're an
Yeah.
analyst. Because there's a
You
lot
just
of
sit there
teams
and
with elite
watch.
line in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Florida State.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
is he an analyst at
Yeah,
Florida
he is
State?
an analyst. Yeah.
Another coach on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's
that's crazy.
He can't even sit down.
Yeah.
Nah, he can't, and he fired both of his coordinators. I think he panicked. I ain't gonna
Which
lie.
means he got no excuse. Can't put it
Yeah.
on.
Yep.
No. Yeah, the last person you got fired is yourself, buddy.
Yeah, that's it. You're going to be walking out the door backwards like Homer Simpson.
Big Ten. Who's your sleeper team in the Big Ten?
Honestly, I think they dropped 2 games.
Mhm.
I think it's either Penn State or Oregon,
Mhm.
and then a game they shouldn't lose. But the way Iowa's schedule is, those games are early enough in the season that they can drop them, where they'll be able to recover ranking wise if they continue to win out. But if I had to go non-homer, I would pick Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear where Nino goes with this one.
I kind of dropped
I
some
agree with you
Easter
with
eggs
Iowa, though.
about it. I
Mhm.
dropped Easter eggs throughout the show about it.
Mhm.
I'm going to go Nebraska here.
I like it.
I got a funny feeling 2, 4, 6, 8. I think
You
that
can circle that Black Friday as an L, though.
there'll be 10 wins, though. 10-0 before they play Penn State.
I got to see their schedule now.
Because I think they destroy Michigan week 4.
Yeah.
Week 4, yeah. Sharon Moore won't be there either.
First Michigan State, then at Maryland, at Minnesota, versus Northwestern. USC, I think they handle them. UCLA, I think they handle them. And then it's Penn State. And then they have Iowa.
Oh.
Hey, if they're 10-1, bro, get ready. Because it ain't going to be a cakewalk.
Hey, we beat them with a walk-on quarterback who was a linebacker for most of the season.
I'm just telling you. Year 3 is upon us in the Matt Rule coaching scheme.
You're right.
You got Dylan
They'll beat
Raiola.
Cincinnati. They'll beat Akron. They'll beat Houston. I'm with you with Michigan. They'll beat Michigan State. They'll beat Maryland. I think I'm higher on USC than most. I'm higher on UCLA. I think they'll drop one of those games. But hell, I mean, shit. what are 93? Yeah, 93, 10-2.
We're 9-2 going into Iowa.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. I like it. They have a favorable schedule.
If they beat both of the West Coast teams, right?
Look out.
Watch out, because all they got to do is win one of those, Penn State, Iowa, and they could be in the playoff. Big Ten championship.
And don't let Lincoln host a home playoff game, because that place will be electric.
Stupid.
Oh my goodness, that would be crazy. I like that. Wow, that was fun.
Before we go into this last one, I wanted to throw out, who's your G5 team this year?
My G5 pick is Liberty.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a default though.
Yeah, it is a default, but they can screw it up now. But it's default. They got the easiest schedule in all of college football.
Let me see here. I got
But another team that I like USF. I think Alex Golish and Byron Brown, if he can stay healthy, they'll be good. Navy is another team that I like a lot. And then just keep an eye on Charlotte. I'm not saying they're going to make the CFP. I'm just saying don't be surprised if they're Tim Albin, his first year there, I'll have them 7-5 or even 8-4, and Connor Harrell is relevant again in the world of college football. So
I'm going to go with Toledo. I think
I like
they have
Toledo.
a good chance to be
Toledo.
11-1, 12-0. I think they may even pull the upset against Kentucky this year. So
Kentucky just had a huge loss too.
if Alonzo Barnett starts week 1 for James Madison, give me James Madison.
Who's starting?
They don't know yet because the shoulder they're saying may not be 100% going into fall camp. So
they got somebody else on that roster. Who is it?
I'll check right now.
They got somebody in that room, and I was like, "Yo, what?" I'm like, "Why did he end up here?" Because I remember when I was just doing research. I've studied.
Oh, Sluka.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, because his Holy Cross coach is James Madison's coach.
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out. I'm like, yo, what is Sluka doing? Okay, yeah.
I mean, if he pulls his head out his ass, like got a bad QB too. It's a big if, but
we'll see. But I if he's healthy, I think James Madison could be a sleeper team.
A shout out to the Toledo Rockets, though, man. I got a lot of love for Toledo, man. Shout out to Toledo. Did Nino said James Madison, right?
Yep.
He did answer. Okay, so a couple weeks ago we discussed the AI generated regulated tier college football system, and we liked it. There were some things we felt like they could improve it. And like I told you guys before, I will be creating this system in college football 26. But I would like to hear what would be your perfect college football playoff. Let's forget everything we know about this upcoming season. We know it'll be straight seeding. I am a huge fan of straight seeding. That means that two teams in the same conference can get that first round bye. I like that a lot. But what would be your perfect amount of teams, and what would be some of the rules of your college football playoff? Whoever wanted to go first can go first.
I kind of think I'm just trying to stick with kind of what me and Dino agreed upon when we talked about before about just going with the top best, what we say, like almost like a March Madness, right? Where you go with top best 24 teams,
that'd be crazy.
In all the college football. But I think that you would have to do what I spoke about earlier. The big dogs from the G4 would kind of have to jump up and fill out the bottom of these P4 conferences. And then I think it works, because then I think there's, everybody's in one big world. We go about it this way, and the best of the best happens. You're always playing good teams, right? You're always playing. There's no layups. You're not playing Alabama A&M. You're not playing, North Dakota State. You're not getting these layups week 1 or somewhere in the middle. I think that would, for me, that would be the best. The whole reseeding, I'm cool with that. The top 24 teams, and then we'll go with, okay, this is the 1 seed in this bracket. This is the 1 seed in this. Like, I'm cool with all. I think that's the best way. And there's plenty of time to figure out, how to get it to all work. And I think if you go right now, it wouldn't be many games, maybe 1 or 2 more games than what they would have already, and how they break it off the playoffs. So I'm cool with a smaller revised version of like a March Madness. Top teams get in there, and then they reseed, and we just duke it out, and then you get the best of the best.
Yeah. I'm going to just reiterate, kind of, we beat a dead horse with this one. The FCS, I think, has the perfect setup. They don't play conference championship games. They just roll straight into the playoffs. It's a 24-team bracket. I'm not sure how they regulate who's won or whatever, but they've done it that way for as long as I can remember. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, sort of thing.
They figured out a way to get it in the schedule, right? So
yeah, and I think it comes out to be maybe 17 games. So it'd be the perfect stepping stone for the guys going to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if we did a 24 or 20 team playoff, like what would the regular season look like? Like
you play your 12 games, that's it, and then you go straight into
no conference championship,
no championship.
Playoff.
Now
so
outside,
would it be done by a committee, or would you guys go back to the computers?
Look, I
top 24, however you rank them, top 24 teams or 20, whatever.
Yeah, and you're just like NCAA. It'd be a committee that would pick, the brackets and where the ranking would be. And then your bowl games, give them to the teams that are the top 24. You can
and you can still keep the big BCS, Big Six, whatever bowl games, and like those can be your quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. So I mean, you're still getting your Rose Bowl, your Orange Bowl.
Yeah, and the other bowl games, you know what I'm saying? Like you just give the other schools
like an NIT sort of bracket with
100%, and you could do that, right? Make an NIT type bracket, and all the games played will represent those.
That would be the only change that I make. I agree with you guys. Just give me a G5 playoff.
There would be, they'd have
to be. Run it that way, man.
With a smaller, smaller pot.
Smaller. Yeah, probably like 18, but best.
But I think you could put in this thing like if you won the NIT.
I see where you're going.
So then you get regulated up.
Right.
You automatically
get a ticket into the dance.
Yeah, you get a ticket to next year's dance.
I like that.
So it's constantly rotating. Maybe there's a playing game at the end. After year one, there'd be a playing. So 25 would play the team that won last year's NI. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, boom. So like that, then it's always a reason to want it because everybody knows it's not in tournament. Nobody wants to play that in college basketball. Nobody cares to even. Oh, you won that baby trophy. Cool.
Right.
You don't see anybody pictures of that thing showing up. But if you had a chance to get to the show the next year, then everybody would be all in on it. So I think if we did a small version of it with hanging a higher basket, a bag to it, I think it would make sense. But I'm like I said, I'm with it. I think that it's time. Especially we're almost at 16 teams to begin with. What's another 8 at that point? You know what I mean?
It wouldn't hurt.
It works for everybody. And if you did that baby NIT version, all these other bowl games get to have their bowl games still.
Yeah,
it gets to be on a nationally televised, probably primetime game now because you wouldn't be playing it during the day, really, because it's not like your 64 teams to start it off. You know what I mean? So every game would be able to be played probably at night and be nationally televised. I think it works out for everybody. Everybody gets a bag. And you're getting the best product, on the field.
Yeah.
That would be phenomenal. Hey, man, it's been a fun episode.
It's
been such a fun episode. Can't wait to do this again, man. I want to tell everybody what y'all kind of been working on and what they expect from you guys.
I've been working on it for a while, but my work schedule and my kids'
life,
sports schedule. And Dino's right there with me. It's driving me bananas, bro. Like the thing that's taking hit the most outside of me being able to podcast is my sleep schedule. So both of those together, I don't sleep much as it is to begin with. You know what I mean? But
you're a 3-hour guy, man.
Yeah, I get up at 3:30 in the morning every day. So it's like the window's small. So I have a Boston College show coming. Beantown Brew. I have 3 episodes in the works ready to pop out. I just need a little bit of time. Need the work schedule to slow down so I can get there and get it done. But and CFB Prime isn't dead. I'm revamping CFB Prime too, so that will be back again once we get closer to college football season.
Yeah,
I love it.
So for me, again, same boat. Kids' schedules. You guys know. I almost didn't make it tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, so other than that, obviously we got Debbie going on every week. I'm going to kind of start doing an all access thing with some schools. Toledo,
nice.
Like we were saying, Army's on the list so far. And then I'm going to try to travel depending, bring back Hawks Nest this year too. So
let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to know anything that the governor's doing, I mean, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Right, yeah.
Dropping heat. Get ready because it's coming to your YouTube station locally.
Yeah, man, it's been fun. I've been blessed. I can't wait till August 1st. I think I told you guys both. Well, I may not have told you. I'm leaving my job August 1st. I can't wait. So yeah, it's time to get active. Yeah. I'm ready, man. As I always like to say, there are no more victories in sport that survive in advance. That's why college football has the greatest regular season. And make sure y'all subscribe and engage that notification bell, man. The CFB Nation, the fastest growing college football platform in the world, Craig. We got the best community post. There's no other YouTube college base better than our community post. I promise you, none has more engagement. Nino does a fantastic job running our community post and our Twitter, man. So shout out to you all, man. Y'all take care. Yes, sir. Today I am the governor of college football. Yes, sir. The mayor of college football. football, aka Downtown Nino Brown.